Hey guys, I'm Joanne, and you are listening to The Raw Reality. In this episode, I am going to discuss my sister Linda's final text message to me, which was the week after her husband Tony caused drama with my husband. To catch up, please watch my previous video. Okay, so here it goes. Linda says, I wasn't going to say anything, but this will be my last text to you. It's funny to think you're running to others who also haven't had nice things to say about Hong in the past. We all had our share of negative things to say, and I can at least admit to that. From your dating to things that happened between you both, we should have stayed out of it. But it is what it is. Regarding what happened over the weekend with Tony reaching out to Hong, I didn't want him to say anything. But if I had known he was going to say something, the approach would have been different. It's also funny that you called us drama as if we made it all up and we're the ones causing drama for no reason, when it was Dad who told us these things that have been bothering him. Regarding running to others who hadn't had nice things to say about my husband, well, I know that Linda gaslighted them, influencing their negative views on my husband, but there's a clear difference between Linda's actions and theirs. They have never disrespected me or done me wrong, like engaged in public shaming, gaslighting, instigating, spreading negativity, name-calling, telling me I'm not happy in my own relationship and that I should leave that person. That's why those others are no longer associated with Linda after realizing the kind of person she is. I never judged Linda's relationship or what she did to him. All of my dad's feelings that he shared with Linda would share them in the sister group chat along with her responses. If Linda shared my dad's feelings about my husband in the sisters group chat, yeah, the approach would have been different. Look, here's some of my dad's feelings. Linda says, I just talked to Dad again, and I feel upset for him. He was saying how Auntie Min and all of them haven't even checked up on him, except for Uncle Ben, surprisingly. I told him, who cares about him? The one that truly cares for him will be there for him. I know he's more upset of Auntie Min because Mom literally talks to her every day. So we know, she knows, but has yet to even ask how he's doing. I said, F her. All Dad needs is us kids, the ones that's been there since day one. F the rest. Okay, so you see that Linda reacted negatively without understanding their circumstances, which is their private matter, and Linda has no right to judge or respond negatively to my dad. Here's another text. She said, I'm so irritated. Dad just told me that Mom said when he gets his disability that he needs to help with the bills. The F? Someone get their mom. Again, Linda has no right to speak negatively about our mom. It's their own personal business, but Linda always seems to have an opinion as if she's a participant in the relationship. We should have an ear to listen, unlike Linda, who tends to introduce negative thoughts. In fact, on the day of my husband taking my dad to chemo, my dad expressed to my husband that he was hoping to get approved for disability so that he can help my mom pay the bills, as it is tough to handle all the bills for one person. The next text, she says, Dad vented to me about how Mom hasn't even called to check on him. I told him, who cares? That's just how she is. Again, Linda responded negatively. Whatever reason my mom hasn't checked on him, that's between her and him. Talk about negativity. Look at who's feeding my dad with negative responses. As you all can see, a clear pattern in Linda's interactions with my dad, marked by negative responses to his feelings. Of course, this would make my dad think negative about them too, and that's how drama gets. The big question is, why didn't my sister share my dad's feelings about my husband in the sisters group chat? It falls in the same category of dad's thoughts and feelings, right? Well, Linda stayed quiet. She goes behind my back, shared it with her own sibling group chat, and told them how she responded. Linda knew she could have told me, but chooses not to. And, I still don't know why Tony would reach out to my husband when they have no relationship. They barely talk. There's no such thing in my family that a spouse will reach out to another spouse when someone in my family, especially my parent, feels some type of way. It's usually been a sibling tells another sibling to tell the spouse. Or should I say, blood tells blood. You see what I'm saying? But it's whatever. If it's Tony, cool, that's him. I would only believe if Linda puts her hand on the Bible and swears that she was not involved behind Tony's text. Just like how a reporter asked Neil Armstrong to put his hand on the Bible and swear that he landed on the moon, which he didn't. And, he wouldn't take the $5,000 cash for charity either. Anyways, so the next final text, Linda says, secondly, the situation with dad, funeral, talks, etc. was always between us siblings. I never once brought it up to dad. He came to us about Halm being negative all the time and bringing it up as if he's dying soon, asking about planning for his plot. That is not something you talk to dad about. But now it's beyond that because we can act like strangers and don't need to know anything about each other's lives. Honestly, I'm glad all this happened because we don't need people who think they're always in the right and play the victim. Don't bother texting back either. So, about the funeral talks, is it really always just talked between the siblings? Here's what Linda shared months prior. My sister Cindy says, yeah, for sure. Didn't he say he would want to be cremated and have his ashes in Vietnam? Linda says, yes, that's Dad's wish, and he keeps telling me that, including what pictures to use, and someone would have to bring his ashes back to Vietnam. Okay, well, it doesn't seem like it's always talked between siblings, and what happened to the quote-unquote, that is not something you talk to Dad about. Linda apparently talked about it with my dad about funeral stuff. Funeral stuff is funeral stuff. You see how hypocritical this is? Okay, so here's another. I'm just thinking, God forbid anything happens to dad, the expenses are covered, and mom needs to step in for that. She better not rely on me, as I have too much on my plate already. Again, no one would need to rely on anyone if we do the arrangement like my husband suggested. All I have to say is it was my husband's love language to even inquire about arrangements. I am unable to think of any actions taken by my husband that could have been viewed as negative. When my husband took my dad to chemotherapy the day before Tony drama unfolded, my dad asked my husband to buy him a sturgeon and bring it to his house on a weekend so we could all enjoy a meal and watch football together. So if he was so negative, why would a negative person get invited by dad? It just makes no sense for being called negative. All I have to say is there's eyes everywhere, especially no one cannot lie in front of God. I can tell you what negative is. Negative is Linda responding negatively when my dad expressed his feelings to her. Negative is Linda telling me not to update my brother on our dad's situation because she don't like him. Here it is. She says, Joanne, from now on, don't update your brother on dad. He didn't even call him for Father's Day. So what's the point of him even calling the first time? F him. I told Michael the same. Again, Linda does not stay out of people's business as she does not know the situation between my parents and my brother. Yet, she always has negative things to say. Anyways, don't try to make fake receipts. Be real. God sees truth. I wanted to share 7 things that God hates. Proverbs 6 verses 16 through 19. Number 1, haughty eyes, which is pridefully looking down upon others. Number 2, a lying tongue, which is speaks falsehood knowingly and willingly with an intention to deceive others. Number 3, hands that sheds innocent blood, like hating unreasonably. Number 4, a heart that devises wicked schemes, which is thinking or conceiving evil against any individual for personal gain. Number 5, feet that are quick to rush into evil, like commit wrongdoing. Number 6, a false witness who pour out lies. Number 7, a person who stir up conflict causing division. All right, guys, that's all for today. I thank you guys for listening, and I'll talk to you guys in my next episode. Bye.